All right, life group leaders, thanks for checking out the orientation for leading a life group. And once again, thank you for being a part of leadership in Ocean Hills. And I just want to remind us again, life groups are not a ministry of the church. They're not a program of the church. Life groups are the church. And so you are hitting the bullseye by leading a group, and you are going to grow so much spiritually by leading other people and teaching other people how to grow and growing with them. People are so much more excited to learn with you than to learn from you. I heard someone say, and that is so true. So we're all in this learning together, and it's great to invite your group into that. Here are just the practical 3 best practices to create an environment of growth, and the 3 biggest mistakes we've seen life group leaders make. The first thing to best practice is to be ready. It's to be ready. And Luke 12:35, Jesus tells a parable about people being ready for God to show up. And I think that's, as I come to groups and as you come to your group, I think having an expectation that God's going to move, that God's going to do something, He's going to move the room, He's going to be in the atmosphere, and He's going to open people's hearts to Him. Let's be ready for that. How do you be ready? Well, one of the ways is you eliminate distractions in your house, in your room, outside, wherever you're meeting, online. You eliminate distractions so that people can focus. I think you bring people into the moment, into the present moment, sometimes with a prayer or a pause, help people transition out of their busy day to start focusing on the content that you're going to be talking about. And don't wing it. Be prepared. Be prayed up and prepped and ready for how you want to get out of the check-in and get into what you're going to be talking to that night, whether talking about that evening or morning, whether it's the scripture or book. So just be ready. Second thing, best practice is do something fun together. It might sound silly, but the way you build trust in a group is to actually get outside the room and take a walk, take a hike, go paddleboarding, take a bike ride in Santa Barbara. We have so many ways to do this, but do something fun and bond together. There's a great verse in 1 Thessalonians 2:8 where Paul says, we not only shared the gospel with you, but we shared our lives as well. And so we want to encourage you to share your life, to share just fun times together. Plan something to bond, whether it's hiking or paddling or a mission picnic or bowling. Do something together, and a great way to do this is to serve together. Find someone you can serve, maybe at their house, or you can serve our Friends Without Homes at Alameda Park. There's different ways you can jump into serving together. Setting up, taking down Ocean Hills is a great way to serve together. So do something fun together, bond. Don't let the circle just be the extent of your experience. That will carry over. Whatever you do is going to carry over into your weekly meeting and will help you just bond together. Third thing is share your heart. Philippians 1, Paul just says, he just pours out his heart to the Philippian church and says, you are in my heart. He loves the people God has entrusted to him so deeply. And so I would encourage you just to foster your heart for the people that God's put in your group, the people that have said yes to stay with you. Give them your heart, foster your love. And that starts with praying for them. That starts with blessing them and encouraging them, maybe sending a text and just telling how much you appreciate that they're in the group, or just how much you appreciated their comments or whatever it is, but just encouraging them and blessing them and praying for them. And our hope is that you would have the most loved and the best fed life group. That's the goal as a life group leader, that my group would feel just loved and encouraged and built up, and they would feel fed too when they come. They would feel spiritually fed by the time we've had together. So those are the 3 most important best practices to create an environment of growth. And here are the 3 biggest mistakes we've seen people make, just to quickly. listen to these. The first one is, don't expect people to commit. If you don't expect people to commit, they won't commit. So it's really important on the front end to say, this is a commitment. This is an 8 to 10 week commitment we're going to make together. And if you can't make it to maybe 80 or more % of the meetings, it's best to find another group that you can be in. So just encourage people to commit and to be a part of it. They're going to get the most out of it if they commit. Have really clear expectations up front. People rise up to the challenge of commitment. And check in on people when they don't show up. Check in and speak the truth in love and tell them they were missed, and that you hope they can keep coming and come back next time. The second is, don't have boundaries on the check-in. You know, it's really easy when you get together with good friends just to chat, and not and just check in on each other's lives and not get to some sustenance, just some spiritual food, and get to the scripture. So our life groups we hope are not just support groups. We know that support's a big part of them. Some are higher support relationally, and some are higher content. But we hope that every group has some time in the scriptures. So you need to have a plan to move out of the check-in and to move into the content. Whether that's, let's start with the content and finish with the check-in, or just have a plan to transition that. We really believe that the Bible is the key to hearing God's voice. And so as we study the Bible together, we believe God shows up and moves. And so we want to encourage you to just get into the scriptures and get into the content that God has led you to lead. The last one is, don't create a safe environment. A big mistake is to not remind people that this is a confidential space, that this is a place to emphasize listening, speaking for yourself. It's a place where people are not going to be judged by what they say or by the questions they ask. So I think reiterating that, especially in the first few weeks, over and over, reiterate this is a safe place to be yourself, to be real, to come with your questions. There are no stupid questions. So just help people feel that safety, and know that they can, whatever is shared in this space will stay here. And it's up to you to set the example. That's the hard part about leadership sometimes, is just being vulnerable, opening up our own lives. There is the vulnerability hangover that we all experience, but this is where God shows up, I believe, is in the midst of vulnerability, when we show our weaknesses and our struggles and what he is working on in our lives. That opens the room up, and all the people that are there begin opening up. So don't make that mistake, but make your group a safe place. So that's it. Those are the 3 best practices and the 3 biggest mistakes we've seen life groups. Hope you are encouraged by this, and would love to answer any questions. If something comes up, please feel free to call me, and let's chat. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.